Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz. This is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, March 17th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Google launched a new core update. More on that. It's big, big, big. Bing is using GPT-4. They have been for the past several weeks. Bing answers may be replaced by Bing chat responses, and so much more. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, Wix. Takes a while to get the hat on. But Wix is a great CMS. A lot of SEOs are loving it these days. They're making lots of cool changes for SEO purposes to their platform. And they have an amazing podcast called the SERPs Up Podcast. Morty and Crystal are on it. They're hilarious. I definitely recommend you listen to it. You'll learn something too, but you'll laugh a lot as well. So definitely take a look at it. SERPs Up Podcast. Again, SERPs Up Podcast. And thanks to Wix for sponsoring. Deeply appreciate it. Okay, so we have the Google March 2023 broad core update that went live as of Wednesday, March 15th at 10:30, around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time or so. Google said again, this will take about 2 weeks to roll out, yada, yada. And that this update is the same updates as all the other previous core updates. But this one seems big. It does seem pretty big. Within 24 hours, I did a post on Thursday morning about this update, and the chatter is off the scales. And it's still off the scales. And usually, broad core updates are big, but this one seems pretty big. It's early. I don't want to say too much, but it seems really big. The tools are all showing significant fluctuations as of yesterday, so they all picked it up on Thursday. It is dipping a little bit today in terms of the fluctuations and volatility. But SEMrush, Rank Ranger, AccuRanker, Advanced Ranking, SERP Metrics, Cognitive SEO, SERPWoo, AlGuru, Mozcast, they are all showing big, big changes yesterday. A little bit less today on Friday, which is typical. You'll probably see another spike sometime next week, and maybe one more spike again before it's done. But there is significant volatility. There is significant chatter. It looks like this was a big boy. So definitely keep an eye on it, and we'll see how it settles out. Again, not much you can do right now about it, but definitely watch it over the next couple weeks. And hopefully you guys did well with this update, and hopefully things are going well for you. On the big front, Bing has announced right after the OpenAI announcement of the new GPT-4 technology, which is way more advanced than GPT-3, that there is a new way of doing things. And Bing said, hey, just a little heads up, we've been using it for the past 5-6 weeks or so. And that's why, remember when Bing announced that they said they're using a more advanced version of GPT? Well, they've been using GPT-4. We thought it was like 3 point something, but it's 4. And Microsoft said they've been using it for the past 5 weeks, and they have. And it's pretty interesting to see that. So now GPT-4 is not just in Bing Chat, but it is also in Chat GTP if you are using, and it's a limited usage right now. You can actually switch to it if you are a premium user or a plus user, I think they call it. And it's pretty cool. So definitely take a look at that as well. And on the Bing front as well, Bing hinted that they may and most likely will replace the Bing search answers, the feature snippets or answers that you get at the top of the search results, with Bing chat answers. Mikhail, who's basically the CEO of Bing, I know Microsoft has a CEO, but there's like a CEO of Bing as well. He basically said the Bing answers use old technology and crowdsourcing, and we will replace them ASAP, basically with Bing Chat. He also said we'll probably use some new user interface for it, so we'll see. We saw some hints about this, sourcing across the web. That might be it, I'm not sure, but it's cool to see Bing integrating more chat features into search. Also on the Bing side, that Bing Sidebar feature, which is pretty cool, is now available in the stable release of Edge browser. Also, Bing has announced new chat limits with increases in that, as well as a quicker response time. So those are some things on the Bing side, as well as one more thing for Bing. Bing CEO again of Bing described how he's thinking, or Microsoft's thinking, about the different chat modes. As you know, they have 3 tones or modes of chat: balanced, creative, and precise. And he said for balance, it's the best for most common tasks, like search, maximum speed. Creative is whenever you want to generate a new content, longer output, more expressive, but it's also slower. And precise is more factual, and so forth. So definitely that's how those things should be thought of. And it's a slightly different from what Bing actually puts on their website. Google's featured snippets could go wrong. This is an interesting one. For the Mayo Clinic, it was showing an advertisement label at the top. And somebody asked me, does feature snippets now provide ads? Could you do feature snippet ads? And this is from Bill Elward. And I'm like, no. If you look at the actual content on the page, some of the content actually says advertisement as like a header on the side. It's really a header for the ad. And Google's bringing that in and thinking it's part of the text from the feature snippet. It's not part of the text of the feature snippet. It's just a side thing. And Google said they will address it. The question is, did they? Let me just check in real time. I checked the other day. It wasn't. It's still there. It still shows like an advertisement label in the search results. It's pretty wild. Danny Sullivan's like, you can use a data-nosnippet, or Glenn Gabe said that as well. Use a data-nosnippet to actually say, don't use this snippet of text from the page for the feature snippet, but then you might lose the feature snippet, maybe, potentially. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I thought Google would fix it because it looks bad. It looks like organic is being influenced by the ad team, but it's really not. Gary, in the search podcast, the SEO office hours, basically was asked, how do you get the little install button on the search results snippets in the mobile search results? And Gary's like, it comes from deep linking, which is part of the knowledge panel, knowledge graph. So you have to make sure to provide banner deep links to your apps so that they show up there. If you know, Search Engine Roundtable has an app. It should show up as a deep link. So if you go to Search Engine Roundtable on your mobile phone, there should be a banner there. Or just go to seroundtable.com/app. You could actually get a lot of push notifications. Not a lot. I do maybe one push notification a week about breaking stuff like core updates and stuff like that. It's available for iOS and Android. Google said that less common languages aren't by default considered to be low quality. In fact, Google recommends you write in those languages because they want more content in those languages. But just because it's a lesser known language that people don't use, it doesn't, even if Google doesn't support it for hreflang, and there's no type of ISO code for it, it doesn't mean it's going to be low quality. If it is low quality, it's low quality, but not just because it's a lesser known language. Gary also said that the Googlebot IP address JSON file is updated within a few days of there being a new IP address, because that's just the way it works in terms of how it updates. And there was actually an update recently, just like a week ago or so, in terms of a new IP address that was added to that file. So definitely take a look at that as well. But those files are generally updated every few days. Do you get a lot of referrals, spam traffic, and you see it in your analytics? John Mueller said, don't worry about it. Don't be concerned. You can ignore it. It's not going to affect your SEO. It's not going to affect your rankings in Google. He said, just ignore it when it comes to seeing those like XYZ referral links that you're getting in your Google Analytics. I get a ton of it myself from my site. It doesn't bother me. There was a bug this week with the Google business profiles where if you go to you search for my business or your business name in Google search, it would actually go ahead and say your business profile is not visible to customers. That was a bug. It was actually just fixed last night, which is pretty cool. And it was a bug. It was a display bug. Your business was actually visible to customers. It was saying it wasn't, but it was. And this was originally spotted by a bunch of people. It was all over the forums. But I spotted this from Garrison Agency, also from Crystal Tang, Ben Fisher, and a bunch of other folks as well. So thanks for catching this and for getting this resolved, Google. You can now also report some reviews that are left on local service ads. This was something that you weren't able to do before. Previously, local service ad reviews you weren't able to report, but now you are if they were left as local service ad reviews, not through the Google My Business, Google Business Profiles review section. There's actually now a review button in the local service ads for some reviews. This was spotted by Curtis Boyd. It looks like Google is testing a new local feature. When you go to a local panel or local business listing, it shows a similar to feature, which we saw years and years ago in the carousel option of listings, but not in a specific business listing. So he said he basically did a search for Akamai Bull, and he went someplace a week or two ago, and then he did another search to find it, and he said, oh, this is similar to the place you went before. So I'm not sure if it's a competitive issue or if it's just a search like, oh, you like these places, here's another place that you might want to check it out. Google is also testing a blended local and normal web snippet. So basically it's showing partially a snippet that you would see in the search results for a normal listing, but also a local result where it adds the map, the hours, a call button, directions, and a view the store button, and it removes the description. This was spotted by Manish, so pretty nice find there. Microsoft Advertising announced that broad match modifier keywords are now being served as broad match keywords instead of phrase match keywords on search, on Bing search specifically. This is effective as of March 15th. So if you do have that set up, you definitely want to go through your campaigns to make sure it's being served the way you want it to be served. Microsoft Advertising also announced new vertical ads for doctors and clinics. So there's Microsoft has all these types of vertical ads, and here's another one that they actually added. So if you do work with doctors and clinics, there's a new type of ad format that you can use. Google has updated the AdsBot mobile for Android. It's now using the new user agent, so definitely take a look at that. There's a new user agent there, so if you hard-coded previous user agents, you want to make sure to update that. Google AdSense has updated its auto ads publisher interface. So now there's a bunch of different changes there, mostly for user experience on the publisher AdSense console, including reorganizing the formats into two groups. Formatting the previously called in-page ads is now called banner ads. The controls for banner ads and multiplex ads are now independent of each other. Each format is now easily identifiable from the menu and added an ad gallery showing examples of each format. So you do AdSense and you use auto ads, that's something you should take a look at. Google is also showing this weird promotion for camera search. I spotted this the other day when I was doing some searches, and it basically puts a snippet in there that says, can't describe it, ? Shop with your camera in Google app. I think Google Lens is amazing. The Google is amazing, but it's weird for Google to actually show that promo there, but it's cool. Google's now testing replacing the 3D image label. So you have like 3D AR images in Google search. They used to show like 3D label. Google's now testing showing a 360 label, which is pretty cool. This was spotted by Sad AK. And Google, this was announced months and months ago at Google's Search On event, where you can actually save your brands, save your favorite brands to get more relevant results. Now that seems to be fully live. I guess this has been live for a while, but I haven't seen it before. Brittany Mueller spotted this, so this is pretty cool to see as well. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Hope you guys did well with the core update. Thanks to Wix for sponsoring. Everyone have a great, safe, healthy weekend, and I'll speak to you guys next. Goodbye.